Dear students, we had discussed classification of chordata in previous classes. Phylum Chordata has been divided into three subphyla: Subphylum Urochordata, Subphylum Cephalochordata, and Subphylum Vertebrata. We had discussed the Subphylum Urochordata and classified the same into class Acidiacea, Thaliacea, and Larvaceae in previous class. We can discuss the Subphylum Cephalochordata in this class. Subphylum Cephalochordata comprises organisms which look like the fishes. That's why it is said to be fish-like organisms. It's also called lancelets. Lancelets means tiny or small spears. We can go to the characters of Subphylum Cephalochordata. They are symmetrical or asymmetrical without a distinct head or paired appendages, but there will be paired fins. Dorsal fin from head to tail, then caudal fin around the tail portion, then ventral fin can be seen. Body is covered with a soft skin with no exoskeleton. Segmentally arranged muscle blocks can be seen. They are called myotomes or myomers. The notochord is seen from anterior-most end to the posterior-most end, that is entire length of the body. Then true coelom is lined by an outer somatic mesoderm and an intersplanchnic mesoderm. That's why it is said to be enterocoelous. Enterocoelous means the coelom is arising as pouches from the embryonic gut, not by the splitting of the mesoderm. So this coelom is reduced due to the development of an ectoderm-lined atrium. Because of the development of the atrium, the coelom is highly reduced. Then digestive system is simple and straight, and it is adapted for filter feeding with some specialized gill slits on the way of the alimentary canal in the pharyngeal region. Specialized digestive glands are absent except for midgut diverticulum. There will be some glands or enzyme secretion in the midgut diverticulum. Then characters continues. Mouth and anus are subterminal. Here you can see the mouth, not at the terminal portion, but in the subterminal portion. Here anus is also in the subterminal portion. The large pharynx can be seen with gill slits, just as in the case of Subphylum Urochordata. And this pharynx with a lot of vasculature helps in respiration because of water entering through the mouth and leaving through the gill slits will give oxygen, and the oxygen diffuses into the blood of the vasculature present in the pharynx, and the water escapes out to the atrium through the gill slits, and the food is trapped on the way and pushed to the alimentary canal. That's why it's said that large pharynx is helpful for respiration and filter feeding. The circulatory system is closed type without a distinctive heart. The nervous system consists of central, peripheral, and autonomous nervous system, as in the case of hair chordates. There is no distinctive brain, but the sense organs are simple. Then respiration is occurring with the help of general body surface too, along with the gill slits. Then excretory system means the removal of the metabolic waste is taking place with the help of nephridia. Nephridia consists of a bent limb with a lot of diverticula, and some specialized cells called solenocytes or flame cells are attached with the diverticulum of the nephridial limb or nephridia. Then sexes are separate. Gonads are segmentally arranged without gonadocs. Fertilization is external and the development is indirect with a free-swimming larva. There is only one class, that is Leptocardae, with two families, Branchiostomidae and Asymetromidae. Classes of Amphioxus. Amphioxus is an example of the Subphylum Cephalochordata. It is also said to be Branchiostoma. Let's see the characters. They are marine and widely distributed in the shallow coastal waters. Remains buried in sand in an upright condition. They will remain buried in an upright condition with the anterior region protruding above the sand. Then body is small, 5 to 8 centimeter, slender, fish-like, segmented and transparent. Body has trunk and tail. Head, there is no specialized head. Three openings can be seen: mouth, atriopore, and anus. Then dorsal fin, caudal fin, and ventral fin can be seen: dorsal fin, caudal fin, and ventral fin. Then epipleur and metapleural fold are the two terms which can be easily seen in a ventral view. Epipleur is a flat, longitudinally ridged. Ridged means projection. Longitudinal ridges are called, longitudinal projections are called ridges. Flat, longitudinally ridged ventral surface of the trunk. There will be an epipleur, and the two thin hollow folds produced by the lateral edges of the epipleur can be said to be metapleural folds. Means the edges, both edges of the epipleur are turned inward. They are referred to as metapleural folds. They can be seen in the ventral view of the branchiostoma. Then characters continues. Exoskeleton is absent. Epidermis is single layered. Complete metameric segmentation or myotomes or myomeres from one end to the other can be seen. We have discussed in the previous slides, as in the embryo of vertebrates. And this obvious metamerism is retained throughout the life. Coelom is enterocoelous, rising from the pouches of the embryonic gut. They are reduced. Coelom is reduced in the pharyngeal region by the development of an extensive atrium. The notochord is rod-like and persistent throughout the life, extending from rostrum. This is the rostrum to the tail portion, means entire length of the body. Hence the name Cephalochordata. Cephalo refers to the head region. Chordata means notochord, having notochord. So they are having notochord even in the cephalic region. That's why it is said to be Cephalochordata. Characters continues. This portion is said to be oral hood. Means this is the first portion of the mouth. Oral hood encloses the mouth, which is provided with oral cirri. These tentacle-like structures are called oral cirri or buccal cirri. They are having sensory organs throughout their surface. Then wheel organ or Muller's organ. Here, these tentacle-like structures are called wheel organ or Muller's organs. They are 6 to 8 pairs and ciliated with grooved ridges or patches. Their whirling current or rotatory movement will help capturing the food that enters along with the water. Then there are two terms, Hasteck's grooves and Hasteck pit. Hasteck's groove is a ciliated glandular groove on the mid-dorsal tract of wheel organ. Each wheel organ consists of a ciliated glandular groove on the mid-dorsal tract. They are called Hasteck grooves, and the Hasteck grooves terminate in a small depression in each wheel organ. They are called Hasteck's pit. It helps in ciliary feeding. Mucus of groove and or mucus secreted by the Hasteck's groove and Hasteck pits traps the food particle along its way to through the alimentary canal. Velum is a special circular structure. You can see the section of the velum. It is the longitudinal section, that's why it is seen like this. Otherwise, if you take a cross section along this portion, you can see a circular region, that is velum. Velum is a circular ring, vertical membrane posterior to vestibule. Vestibule means vesical cavity. Posterior to the vestibule, there is a circular ring-like structure with a central hole. That is what is called velum. Is provided with velar tentacles. You can see the velar tentacles projecting backward, white color, and circular and radial muscle. The velum is, or the central hole of the velum, may increase or decrease in size because of the contraction and relaxation of the circular and radial muscles on the walls of the velum. Now let's see the feeding behavior of Amphioxus. Here you have seen the buccal cirri, then oral hood, Then wheel organ, enterostome or velum. The central hall of the velum is called enterostome. Then projecting backward, there are velar tentacles. We have already discussed these structures. And with all those structures, we can discuss the feeding behavior of Amphioxus. Oral cirri, these are the oral cirri, will turn inward and form a mesh-like structure. They will cover the mouth partially by forming a mesh-like structure by turning inward and prevents the entry of larger food and sand particle into the buccal cavity or vestibule. Okay. The mucus of Hackstack grooves and Hackstack pit traps the food particle. Hackstack grooves is a mid-dorsal ciliated longitudinal ridge on the wheel organ, and its terminal depression is called Hackstack pit. Both of these groove and pit secrete mucus. They will trap the food particles. Then rotatory movement of the cilia of the wheel organ and its whirling action will direct the food particle into enterostome. Enterostome is the central hall of the velum. These food particles are filtered by velar tentacles. Only fine food particle will enter the pharynx through the enterostome. This portion is pharynx. And the quality of the incoming water and textural as well as chemical nature of food particle are tested by the receptors present on the buccal cirri and velar tentacles. Outward beating of lateral cilia on gill bars drive water out through the gill slits to atrium. The water is taken along with the food particle through the vestibule, then enterostome to the pharynx, and there will be a lot of lateral cilia on the gill bars. These are the gill bars. There will be a lot of lateral cilia. The outward beating of the lateral cilia on gill bars drive the water out through the gill slits. Then food particle will enter the pharynx. They will get trapped by the mucus secreted by the endostyle. As in the case of the Urochordata, the floor of the pharynx is called endostyle. They will secrete mucus, and that mucus will trap the food particles entering the pharynx. The endostellar cilia and frontal cilia, there will be cilia on the endostyle and the frontal cilia of the gill bars. There are lateral cilia and frontal cilia on the gill bars. So the endostellar cilia and the frontal cilia of the gill bars beat upward. They will help the mucus and food particles move dorsally to the epipharyngeal groove. There is a small groove called epipharyngeal groove on the dorsal surface of the pharynx. Then the cilia of the epipharyngeal groove will beat backward and push the food-laden mucus. Food-laden mucus means a mucus which encloses the food particle into esophagus, okay, in the form of a small cord-like structure or food cord or a cord of the mucus. Then cilia of epipharyngeal groove will beat backward and push the food-laden mucus into the esophagus. Esophagus is the next portion of the pharynx in the form of a cord or a thread of mucus which passes down to intestine by the action of cilia present in the gut. That's the overall feeding behavior or overall the process happening during the feeding or filter feeding of cephalochordates. Thank you.